Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and I'm here with a 3D Friday project. And this week's project I just love. It is so cute. You can create a little village using Hershey's Kisses and Nuggets and the Coming Home bundle from Stampin' Up. And let me just show you one of the little houses. Sorry for the glare. Let me see if I can get it out of the glare. This is one of the houses. This is the tall house, and it holds a little nugget on the inside. And then you can do little kisses, Hershey's kisses with a little Christmas tree like that, and it holds a little kiss in there. And I'll show you in a second when I can lay it all down. I'll show you how the village would look. There's 3 different shapes of houses, and then you can make as many trees as you want. And it's neat because we have some beautiful paper that matches. It is called, let me grab oh, it's on my project sheet. It is called the Trimming the Town paper. So you have the option to cut the little village out of the paper, or if you want, you can stamp and cut out of Whisper white cardstock or a white cardstock base, and then you can color the villages or the little pieces of the village however you want. So I thought this would also be a great project to do with kids because you could stamp as many pieces as you want, and then they can do all the coloring for you, and then you can just help them put it together. So I think this project has a lot of fun applications, and you can create a little village with the little trees and the houses, and of course the kisses and nuggets make it really fun too. So I have a project sheet as normal. Here it is. I have to go over it. I rushed it through this morning. So I always send it out the day afterwards so that I can make sure I proofread it and make sure there's as little mistakes as possible. But if you would like that project sheet, you need to be on my email list. And to get on there, just go down the description of the video below. You might have to click on see more because it only shows you partial description. And then you can click on the link and get on my email list. And you'll also have access to some of my past project sheets too if you sign up. For my email list. And so that gets sent out on Saturday at some point. And then it's like a nice little condensed little guide on how to make them. So I'll set that aside and make sure I follow along. The other thing I wanted to point out is the Coming Home bundle. A lot of glare this morning. Trying to, okay, get it in the camera. The Coming Home bundle, I'll show you in a second. Stampin' Up! Is donating $3 from the purchase of the stamp set to a charity, donated to 2 charities devoted to adoption, foster care, and infertility. And the last one, infertility, is near and dear to my heart because we struggled to have a kid of our own. We finally were able to. Our son, who's now 20, and we feel so fortunate to have him. And if you want to be a parent, it's really difficult when you see your friends and family around you not being able to, having kids and you're not able to, and so that was a real struggle for us. And so this bundle is especially near to me, and that they're going to donate $3 from the sale of the stamp set. So if you buy the bundle, that's also considered a sale of the stamp set because the stamp set is within the bundle. So whether you buy the bundle or whether you buy the stamp set, Stampin' Up! Is going to donate $3 to those charities. And also not to downplay foster care and adoption, those are also like really important things that haven't touched me personally, but I totally think it's a great idea for all 3 of those to be covered. Okay, I am going to get started because I have to create all three of those houses. And I actually have a bonus house, which I need to share with you as well because I realized that there was one more house that I didn't do, and I wanted to share with you how to do that. So let me get started. I'm going to switch over my camera and let's see how we make these things. All right, let me get some of my stuff out of the way here real quick. Put some things aside. All right, let's talk about the coming home bundle. Here it is. There's the stamp set. Let me scoot this in a little bit. Here's the stamp set, and here is the die set. When you buy these together, you can save 10%. So that is always a really cool thing. And they really need to kind of go together because after the paper is gone, you're going to want to continue to use your dies. So you want to have the ability to stamp and cut. And look at this cute little car. It was a little too small to do something with. Well, let me see. Yeah, it's a little too small for the nugget, but I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it and see if I can figure something out for the nugget later. But it will be a little bit different. It's funny how when I go along, I always find like all of a sudden I think of something else I could do, right? And it never kind of ends, and you have to kind of just say stop at some point. But the car is really cute too. So this is a great little bundle. Okay, let's talk about the paper real quick. So here I've taken some chunks out of my paper to cut out houses. This is one of the sheets. Also, you can see back here these little wreaths. Those can also be cut out with a die, or they can be stamped. So just it's nice to have options when you're doing this to do different things with them. Okay, let me set this aside too. I think we're ready to start. We're going to start by doing the tree since that's the first thing that I have on my project sheet. So two ways to do the tree. You can take a piece of old olive or some green cardstock. Let me grab my old olive ink pad. You know, I'm doing this out of order, but okay. I'm going to ink this up, and you're going to stamp two trees. Okay, and then you can run these through with the die, the matching die, with the Big Shot, not Big Shot, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, you can run both of those through and cut them, or you can also take the paper. Here's my little tree. You can take the paper and cut out one of the trees right out of the paper. So this is what the little tree looks like if it's cut out of the paper. And here is one cut with just out of old olive. You'll need two pieces to complete the tree. So because we have a front side and we have a back side. Okay, so you're going to need both of those. All right. And this is one that I did with the stamped, and there's the back side. Okay. When I do the paper tree, since there's not as many trees in the paper, that's why I choose to use a blank backside. You could double up and use two trees that look like this to create one, but to save on the paper, I just did one side. So let me close this up. And let me do the first step first now. Sorry. Here is my Simply Scored. And I need a piece of old olive. It's in my little basket here, and it doesn't want to come out. Okay. So this one, ignore the markers right here because we're going to use that for all of the other ones. But for this one, this piece measures 4 inches by 7/8 of an inch, and we're going to score at the 1 inch mark, the 2 inch mark, and the 3 inch mark. So 1, 2, 3, and that's as easy as it is. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than previous Nugget or Hershey's Kisses tents that I did before. So let's take a real quick look. I'm going to take one of the trees here and grab my scissors, which were all the way across the room. Okay, so I need to get rid of this trunk right here. So I'm just going to cut across the bottom like that. And then I'm going to fold this piece that I just scored in half. I know there's other score lines, but I want it folded in half. And right here is the fold line, okay? And I need to glue this tree right here on this score line, right here like that. This is going to be the bottom, so make sure you have it glued the right way, okay? It's going to be glued right there. So I'm just going to put Tombow on the lower part of the tree, right out about till I get to that top segment, the top piece of the tree. So let's just go ahead and put Tombow on that lower part, the lower two segments of the tree. And then remember, you want to have that right up against that score line. And what you can do is you can bend it if you want and just settle it right on that score line. And you can kind of make sure it's straight and right along that bottom if you kind of push it down. Okay, but remember, this is the middle score line right up top here. This part right here is open. Okay, so now here is the part, and this is the reason why you have to do it this way, is because I want to cut away that cardstock from the side so I can retain a cool shape of the tree. So I'm just going to come in from the sides and cut along the tree. This is not too hard because it's straight, tiny lines. Kind of see the little triangles. And since it's folded in the center right here, I'm cutting through both sides at the same time. So it's pretty easy. Okay, I'm going slow too to show you. Okay, so I've done half of the tree. Doesn't that look good? So then I'll come along here and do the other side. Do you find one side is easier to cut than the other? I do. The other side was easier for me to cut. But this side's not too hard either. These paper snips are great. They're from Stampin' Up. They're in our catalog. And they're really, really nice for cutting these little pieces. They're nice and sharp. Okay, so you can see my little tree coming together. I have that nice little shape now. Okay, so now I'm going to take my backup tree. See, this is, if you're doing the paperback, you definitely want to cover up that top, the back side of that paper. Oh, and don't forget to snip off the trunk. Just snip it off like that. And then we can put Tombow all along this piece because it's going to match up at the top, and we're going to need some Tombow to stick it all to the top. So then, oops, line it up with the tree. It's pretty easy to do with my fingers here. So really make sure you pinch that top of the tree and pinch this whole piece together, because in a moment I'm going to open up the bottom and spread it out, and you want to make sure your tree is going to stay stuck to where it's supposed to stay stuck. Okay, so this is what it looks like. One side, one side. Now we're going to open this up. Okay, that's where the kiss is going to go. Bend this one back or in, and this one in. Since this is the front, I prefer it to go over the top. You can do it either way, but you're going to see a little bit of that cardstock line right there. So it looks nicer if this is going to be the front, if you don't have that piece coming back on you. So I'm going to take the back, is going to be the back, and I'll just put Tombow on there and then fold it over. And basically what it creates is a little triangle. Okay. Okay. And then you can come in with a kiss. I've got a bag of kisses here. And what I'll do is I'll try and fold over that paper top. Okay, because I want to not have it stick out. And then I'll stick in the pointy end first and then twist the bottom in to the tree. And yesterday when I was creating these, I thought, oh, these little stars look really great on here. They're in our annual catalog. They're called, let me see what they're called. They are called Star Designer Elements. Okay, but we also have, which I totally forgot about, we have all the trimmings embellishments that are on the same page as all of this, all of these guys here. Let me point these down so you can see them all. So cool, right? And so I thought, hey, why don't I use these little trees, these little stars on the trees. So let me grab my take your pick tool. Let me see if I can pick one up. My putty's not quite out. Come on. The putty will all of a sudden just like emerge. And this morning it's being stubborn. Come on. Now it's sticking to my thing. Okay. So now I'm going to stick that little tiny star right up at the very top of my tree. The teeny, teeny, tiny star. So you have a choice. You can either do the little star elements, or you could do the little tiny stars in all the trimmings embellishments. And the nice thing about these is you could also use these little red embellishments and use those on your tree as well. You know, maybe do some with the stars and some with the little red dots to be little ornaments. So that's just some options for you for the little tree. Okay, let me put these aside for a second and let's talk about the village. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight ink pad. You could also, if you wish, do this in a black ink when you're stamping, but I kind of liked the blue-gray lines of the Misty Moonlight, and it's one of the colors in the designer series paper. So I thought, these are the ones that I stamped. I thought the Misty Moonlight looked kind of nice. So it's also really nice to stamp with. So basically what you do, just ink all of these guys up and stamp them on just regular Whisper White. Okay. Yeah, I'll stick that one here. I'll stick this one here because I'm trying to squeeze them all onto here. And then you've got this one right here. And the other thing you can do is you can take your wreath and stamp it as well, because you can cut that out, or you can cut it out of the paper. Either way works. So then what you'll do is color them with Stampin' Blends. And since I have a lot of die cutting and still things to put together, I'm not going to color today on camera, but I'm just going to give you an idea of how you can color them. So this one right here, I colored with the Old Olive Dark, the Pool Party Dark, and the Gray Granite Dark. Okay, so I just used those and I colored them. And this one I did here in Poppy Parade, Pool Party, and the light gray granite. And then I did the wreath in light old olive and the bright Poppy Parade or dark Poppy Parade. And then this one here was dark Pool Party, dark gray granite, and dark Poppy Parade. So you can just color those up. And then for the backs, you can stamp another one to go on the back. Or you can just do plain. These were my original ones. Oh yeah, and this one I actually colored on the back. So you can do either one. And this one I was experimenting with colors. So you can do different colors. This color right here is Misty Moonlight, but I decided since my ink was Misty Moonlight that it kind of obliterated some of the lines. I couldn't see them as well. So then I basically took the color scheme right out of the paper. It's really helpful to have paper and to give you an idea of how you could color them. So you can just look at the paper and use that as your guide to color. Or if you have your own colors in mind, you can use whatever colors you like. That's the nice thing about stamping and coloring your own is you can personalize it. Then what I would do is I would run this piece through all the coordinating pieces of the through the die cutting machine. But in the interest of time, oh, I forgot to do this one. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna grab all my pieces that I need. And I have an extra one. I wanted to do this one too. Let's grab all of these. And my wreath. And the extra house that I wanted to do. Okay, let's grab all of those. And I forgot to die cut this one, but that's okay. We'll do that in just a second. So these are the back pieces. Shove these back here. And then these are the matching pieces that I'll need. And I've got a wreath right here too. So let me just die cut this real quick. It'll be good to show you the die cutting machine too. Squeeze it in right here. This is our stamp, cut, and emboss machine. And since I'm die cutting, I have the base plate, which is number 1. I have a number 2 plate. I have this one. And then I'm going to grab this long die right here. I call this one the wide house. Wide house. And then you'll just center it on here. I kind of shift it around so I can see how far over I am on any given side. Put my other 3 plate on there and run this through. Okay. And there is my house. And of course you're going to want to cut through the house plus an extra piece of the Whisper White to act as the back. All right. So now we have all our little pieces. Let me shove those to the side for a second because we need to create our little tents. So let's bring in the Simply Scored again. And this time we're going to do, this is the piece you'll need for the wide house, okay? So the wide house piece is 5 inches by 3 inches. And then you put one of the long sides up at the top and we'll score at the 1 inch mark, the 2.5 inch mark, and the 4 inch mark. Isn't that easy? Okay, so that's number 1. I'm going to do the other ones while I have the Simply Scored out. So for the medium house, this is what I'm calling the medium house, you'll need a piece of 5 inch by 1 7/8 inch. And you'll score it at the same. Long side up at the top, score at the 1 inch mark, the 2.5 inch mark, and the 4 inch mark. All right. And then this is what the piece for this tall house right here. Okay. This is 5 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And again, score at the 1 inch, the 2.5 inch, and the 4 inch. Okay. So now we have all of our pieces scored, so that will be nice. Let's start off with the wide house. So we're going to need the 5 by 3 inch piece, and we'll need this piece, and we're going to need this piece. Okay, and again we're going to score, or not score, fold on that middle score line, and we'll take this piece and we're going to line this up right here on the bottom. So let's just take Tombow. We're not going to go all the way to the top because it's going to peek up a little bit. And again, if you want to fold back this piece so that you can get it, make sure it's nice and close to the bottom, just remember the folded piece right here needs to be up at the top of the house. So let me just center this. This one actually fits perfectly from side to side. And then I can just kind of push down on the house and make sure it's flat with my work surface. Okay. And then I can just push down, make sure it's glued onto here. Now here's the trick for this house. I'm going to bend it, and you kind of can see how right here on the side and this side right here we have little pieces that stick out. We can get rid of those really easily. We'll just cut along there just like we did with the tree, but so much easier, right? So there you go, you just eliminated that. And then we can eliminate this side too. So now we have a nice top of the house as well. All right, so let's flip this piece over and then align it. So I'll put a little Tombow on the chimney and hopefully it will stay together. And so this time, line it up with the roof line, press those two chimneys together. Okay. Press down. All right, now we're going to fold these bottom pieces over. Okay. And again, I want this back piece to be folded in first. So I'm going to put the Tombow on this piece, and then the front will look like that. Okay. So let me put Tombow along here. And this wide house can hold 2 nuggets. It's the only one that can hold 2 nuggets because it's side by side. So let me just hold that together, press that together, and there is the wide house. And then we have nuggets somewhere. These just slide in. And someone asked me when I did one of these before, how do I secure them? Most of the time, like, they stay in pretty well. You might have one that's a little looser than the other. So unless you're going to be like running through the house with them, or you think people are going to pick them up, you could use like one little mini glue dot pressed onto the bottom of the nugget, and then just use that to secure them on the inside. That will allow them to still be pulled out if you want to. But yeah, those 2 little nuggets fit right inside there, like that. So very cute little house. So that's the wide house. Let's do the medium house. That would be this one and this one here. And then we're going to need the 5 inch by 1 7/8 inch piece, which is this one here. And fold that piece along that middle score line. Okay, middle score line. And then we'll take this piece, and so a little bit's going to stick out on the side. So we're going to go up not quite to the peak with our Tombow. So let's spread the glue around. I'm not squeezing anymore. I'm just spreading the glue because I got a big glop of it. And you can bend that down so that you can really see with your work surface that it's like level with the work surface. and then press it down. Then we're going to fold it again. Score line's right there, that middle score line, and we'll cut off along the roof line. So that's gone. And that's gone. So now doesn't it look cute? And then we'll take our second house and just add Tombow to it. And add right here. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, I'm really bad at reading comments while I'm putting this together, but please ask me questions if something's not clear. Okay. All right, so we've got it all backed up so it looks nice. And then remember, we're going to fold the back one down first, and then this one will come over top. So it will look nice on the front. My glue goes through different stages of being. It starts off really gloppy, then at the end it goes really nice. It just lets out a tiny stream. Right now I'm squeezing too hard. Okay, so there's the little house. So cute. It just needs a nugget. And this one just takes one nugget. This one's a little looser, so you might want to stick a little glue dot on there. And there's the little guy stuck in there. So cute, right? So, okay. We just have the tall house, and then I have a bonus house that I'm going to need to cut a little piece of cardstock up for that bonus house in a second because I haven't scored it yet. So those two pieces I need. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you. That little circular window, I think since this is a Christmas one, I need to find my mini dimensionals. Here they are. Mini dimensional, so small. So I cut that little wreath earlier. So just take a mini dimensional, put it on the back of that wreath, and then you can add that to the house. And you could put a wreath on every single house if you wanted to, but I just opted to put it on this one. So cute, right? All right, we're going to do the tall house now. So for the tall house, you'll need the 5" by 1 1/4 inch piece. Fold along the middle. See, this has got a definite pattern to it, which is good because if you're going to make the whole village and you're going to make a bunch of these, it's nice that doesn't change that much. So for this one, I'm just going to cover this segment with Tombow because I know this one's going to cover the whole thing. I don't need to cut off any pieces for this one. So I'm just going to put it all on to my Whisper White piece instead this time. Just remember to glue it on the correct way. The fold is up and so is your house, okay? So just add that on there. Let me show you the back side once I've got this. Push this down a bit. Okay, so here is the back side. Quite a bit of that house sticks up. Okay, so then we'll just take this piece and glue it on here. Makes it all look nice on the back. Okay, don't have to cut anything off, so this one's faster. Then bend down the back piece, and then that piece will come over top. Some Tombow on there. Okay, so that little guy is done. So this house right here, the tall house, is the easiest one to make out of all of them. So if you had to do a bunch of these, say you were doing these with a group of kids and they were only going to make one, do the tall house, stamp a bunch of tall houses because then you don't have the extra work of having to snip off the extra pieces. So there's what the tall house looks like. So cute. All right. I thought we could do this one, but this one we can do with a kiss because the nugget is too long, right? It's a little too long. So let's see how we can do that. Let me grab a piece of Whisper White. Just give me a second. All right, here's a piece of white, Whisper White. This one measures 4 inches by 1 inch. So kind of like the same as the tree, except it's gonna be, wait a minute. Yeah, it's gonna be an inch instead of 7/8. But you could actually use the 7/8 inch measurement and it would, be absolutely positively fine. So on this piece, let's ignore the score markers again, because they're not right for this piece. We're going to score at the 1 inch mark, the 2 inch mark, and the 3 inch mark. Okay, this is 4 by 1. Then we'll fold this along the score line. Let's see, will we have to cut anything off? Just checking. No, we don't have to cut anything off, but we can do it the same way. Tombow here. Slide this on here. Okay, then we'll take our little backing piece. Put some Tombow on here. Okay, and then we'll fold down this piece and glue it. And then this piece and glue it. So cute. And this one will take a kiss. And always put the pointy in first and then turn that around. And there is the itty bitty house. That's for your guests that come to stay. They have to stay in a separate house, especially this year. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's have a look. I'm going to put these down here. I know it's kind of weird to lay them down, but the way the camera's angled, this is the best way to do it. Got my little village going on. It looks weird for me, but oh, also, if you like my big red star on the top of the tree, let me just tell you how I got that. So on this, there's another little house piece right here with a star on it. So I just used that little star, the inside of it, and I used that for my real red star right there. So that's another option for stars for the top of the tree. This one's a little larger though. So let me just line them up so you can see size-wise how we can get things. So the big red star, this one is the Star Designer Elements, and then this one right here is all the trimmings, embellishments. And this yellow star is really, really light. If you wanted to, you could probably use some Stampin' Blends and color it maybe with red to make it pop a little bit more since it is so tiny. But that's the order of size of these. So yeah, there's the whole village. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it. So much fun. Okay, I'm back over here now. What did you think? Do you like my little village? I thought it was kind of fun to make. You could like have like a tablecloth or something like that, a white tablecloth, and put it on a table And you know how you can kind of stick things underneath it and make the little tablecloth different heights. And then you can put the little village all over the table and make it look kind of fun. And this year, different year, but you could also package these up and leave them, leave a little village on a little town on your neighbor's doorstep, kind of like as a Merry Christmas. Make a little topper and put it in a little cello bag and say Merry Christmas and drop them off on your neighbor's doorstep. Spread some holiday cheer, right? We have to work ahead. I know it's like almost mid-November now, so now it's paper craft or crunch time for the holidays, right? So we've got to get going on all of that. All right, I'm going to say hello to some of my people, but just a couple things before I do that. If you like my videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You'll see my little picture floating around in the corner. I think I'm wearing a pink shirt. If you click on that, that will take you to my subscribe to YouTube link, and you can subscribe. And if you also click on the bell, then you can get notified when I go live. All the supplies I talked about today are available through me. And I have special tutorials that are paid tutorials that I give away free with an order. So you can choose from, I have over 70 tutorials, 70 paid tutorials on my tutorial store. And you can choose one of those for free if you order from me. I think that's it. And just everything down below, there's lots of information in the down below that will take you to the correct places. And also there's a contact link if you need to ask me something personally. But you can also comment down below because I will go back and answer your questions later on. Okay, now let's talk to everyone who's here today with me live. Good morning, Vera Blue from Tennessee. Good morning, Cindy and Janine and Trixie. Trixie said, "Oh my God, you always come up with the cutest kids creations." Thank you. I'm always looking forward to what you come up with and then promptly make a few to give out. Aw, that's really sweet, Trixie. Thank you. Cindy said on her next order, she will include this stamp set. I can see this project as ornaments. Yes, ornaments. I didn't think about that. Yes. Yes, they would make really cute ornaments. You could just like punch a hole and then string them up. And any ornament that has chocolate in it, yes. I remember when my son was little and any ornaments that I made with candy, those bonus, right? They might not last the whole time, but who cares? It's Christmas, right? Calories don't count on the holidays, right? Let's see. Nina says she thinks they're adorable, and thank you for saying my creativity is amazing. I just like to. But the most fun part for me is like the figuring out the measurements. I don't know that just I don't know why that really speaks to me. I that part of it is the most fun. And then of course afterwards decorating. But the most fun part is like, can I make it work? It's like a problem to solve. That makes me happy. All right. Janine says I'm hilarious. I don't know what I said, but yeah, I probably said something silly. Silly. And she says my creations are cute. Thank you, Janine. Janine is one of my team members. She's so sweet. We have a great team called the Bee Stampers. And last weekend, we were on stage together and we had a Facebook group and we watched the recognition night together. And it was a lot of fun. So I love my team. And I love that they get on here and watch my videos. That's so sweet. Good morning, Amaretto. Thank you for loving it. Good morning, Katie. I'm glad you like it too. Aw. Thank you. Nina says, you like math. You know what? I don't know that I like math. I wasn't really great at math. I needed help with algebra when I was in high school. But I went in diligently and I got help, and I think I probably cracked a B. That's about as high as I could get. But the interesting thing is when you want to figure out something, when you want to make something, and you have a practical application for the math, then I want to know it. Then it inspires me. Higher level math, I I would really need to work hard at that. But it just goes to show you, if you love something, you will figure out a way to do it. And so I've gotten really good at maybe like geometry with different shapes, and I've gotten good with all the measurements because I work with them all the time. So it's the math that you need to get your job done that makes it fun. But yeah, I love figuring out the measurements and going back and forth. And there's so much joy in finally figuring it out. Like, you should see my desk sometimes. It like is covered in prototypes. Like when you're on like number 10, and you're like, some people would have given up after number 3, like it's not going to work. But I'll go away sometimes for a while, and then I'll just have like, oh, I could do it this way. Like, you always think there's probably a different way to do this. Like, there's probably 3 or 4 different ways to make a different box, right? Or a different opening or something. And you just like have to stick with it and figure it out. Katie says, "You do the hard work for us." Aw, thank you. You know what? I'm so glad that there are people out there that appreciate my designs and then take them and make them, because that is something that I probably would not make 100 of my designs because I'm the one that likes to design. So for me, this is great because I get to do what I love, and then you get to take it and do what you love, like the making part. And so sometimes I see people that take my designs and they take the measurements, the base of it, and then they make it even better than me. They decorate it up better than me, and I love that because they had the freedom, they had the extra time that I didn't have on the front end, where I was like figuring out all the measurements. In the end, I'm like scrabbling just to like make it look good at the end, whereas other people have time to really devote to the decoration of it, and I just love seeing that. Well, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you'll consider getting this bundle that I have stuck here, this bundle, the coming home bundle, because that stamp set, for every stamp set they sell, they're going to donate $3 to charity. And I love that Stampin' Up does that. They are very good about donating to charity, and they've been that way right from the beginning. Not it when corporate giving and stuff. Even when it wasn't in fashion, Stampin' Up was already doing it, and they're a very giving company, and it shows they really love us and take care of us. All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and make sure you're subscribed to my email list so that you can get my project sheet on Saturday. All right, guys, I'll see you back next week. Tuesdays and Fridays is when I post videos. Take care. Bye-bye.